Hey there guys and gals, Luke here with the Outdoor Gear Review. I hope you are all doing well. Now, right now I am in the middle of my 3-day Bushcraft overnight adventure. And last night I asked you all if you guys had any questions on Facebook, and my Facebook page is blown up with questions, hundreds of them. So, it's impossible for me to answer those questions in the actual overnight adventure because the adventure would be so long. Some people like the question and answer, some people don't. So I will cut the majority of it out, but all the questions will be answered in this video. So let's just go ahead and get started. Now I will have to stop and go tend to things. I have some water over here boiling right now because it's lunchtime. I'm starving. Okay, so we will start with Jeremy here. He says, why didn't you invite me to camp with you? Buddy, I thought I did. Christopher Bowman, how are you, buddy? Gary wants to know, do I know what the meaning of life is? Yes, I do. Kathy wants to know, do I ever get bored with camping? Absolutely not. I've been out here for 3 days. I smell like a forest animal. I love it. Rusty wants to know, have you ever done a hunt or forage camping trip? Sure. When I was younger, I did a lot of that. As I've gotten older, not so much. Rick wants to know, what type of beard oil do I use? Typically, nothing. I've received some from some viewers, but the truth is, I usually forget to do anything, so. Alan wants to know, do you try any new bushcraft ideas that are on other YouTube channels? Maybe you don't watch other channels since you're so busy, and yeah, that's pretty much the case. I don't have time to really watch anything. I don't have television at home. You know, I don't know. I don't really watch movies. I don't watch TV. I just don't have time for it. Have you considered trying out for a show like Alone? Well, I'm not entirely sure what Alone is. I'm guessing it's a survival show. I don't know. I have been approached by multiple companies to do a show. Let's see, one was for the History Channel, one was for like PBS, and one had something to do with Les Stroud, and I'm not really sure exactly what that was. Something about an island, survival island or something. I don't know. It's just not my thing. I'm not interested. Have I had any further encounters with Sasquatch? Lyle wants to know. Nope, not at all. How long did it take to make this shelter here? Let's see, started around 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9 hours, something like that. Let's see, Terry wants to know, we enjoy your videos immensely. How do you decide where you're heading out to? I don't know. I get a whim, I plan it out, and I go do it. That's typically how it works. Troy wants to know, what type of coffee am I drinking? Please don't say Taster's Nasty. Well, I have some Taster's Nasty. I had some last night. Or, yeah, it was last night. Anyway, I love this stuff. Puts hair on your face. But I do have other types of coffee as well. Doug wants to know, how do you use your fire to keep your shelter heated overnight? But how do you balance heat versus safety? That is a really good question, and distance is key. You know, I'd rather be comfortable than hot. Whew, gotta move. Basically, what I like to do is let my insulation do all the work. I let the heat add on to it. So, like right now, this fire is about 5 feet away from the roof. It's about 2.5 feet from the inside of the shelter. And, I mean, at that distance, I get heat, but I don't get hot. So yes, let the insulation do most of the work and let the fire add on to it. That's my best advice. You definitely don't want to wake up with your shelter on fire. You know what I mean? Let's see, Brian thinks I should come up to Canada. That would be awesome. I'd love to. Yeah, I bet it would be beautiful, man. I'd love to go up there. Derek wants to know, what backpack did I use for this trip? That... Quack Crow. That is the Savata Kevet backpack. What got you started on videos on YouTube? You know, it's funny. I was going out for an overnight trip. I was going camping up in the woods. It was like wintertime. And I decided to grab my camera. It was just an old point-and-click camera. It shot video. It had like no ability to focus at all. So yeah, it started there. I figured that I could share my adventure and some knowledge with people, and it just took off thanks to you guys. Nate wants to know, what's my favorite beer? Yingling. That's my favorite. Out of all the food you've ever had while hiking or camping, what would your favorite food be? Oh man, that is a really good question. That's a really good question. I think back to the Pisco National Forest car camping adventure where I brought the stove and I had barbecue, mashed potatoes, and corn and all that good stuff. Oh my gosh, that was the best meal ever. It's just incredible. hopefully that answers your question and you're not asking for like a specific type of like, you know, like mountain house or real termite sort of thing. Hilton says, you have a nice place there. When are you coming to Norway? Gosh, I would love to. I would absolutely love to. What is your favorite bushcraft knife? Austin wants to know. I can break this down into segments for you. A Mora knife is just an incredible bushcraft blade. It's super sharp, it's very sturdy, and the price is great. You know, if I wanted to really put some money into a nice knife, the Spyderco Bushcraft knife is beautiful. It's beautiful. But if you guys are like me, I can't spend money on a really nice knife and then go out and beat the crap out of it because I don't know, I just can't do it. I cannot bring myself to take a stick to, you know, $200. You know what I mean? Dan wants to know, have you ever encountered bad spirits while camping or friendly ones? You know, if you're actually talking about like spirits, not just like good people, bad people, good people, yeah, I've encountered plenty of them. But actual spirits, I think the first night that I camped out on this property after I bought it, I saw something. I saw a figure, almost like a brown figure standing in front of me, and I turned my head and looked back and it was gone. I almost feel like that was a spirit saying hello, welcoming me to this land, kind of. This area is well known for having multiple tribes of Indians roam around. I'm sure the Native Americans would have stayed here. There's sources of water, food, excellent shelters, lots of rock outcroppings. So, yeah, I don't know. It's a possibility. I'm not sure. Tim wants to know, what are the chances of seeing your wife and myself on a multi-day, no-tent bushcrafting trip? Slim. Very slim. The first night up here where I just cowboyed it on top of the mountain up here, oh man, you should have seen the size of the spider that yeah, I highly doubt she's coming out here for that sort of thing. When will you do any more solo overnight adventures? Right now. This is one. Miranda says, winter is coming. Are you ready? Yes! I am ready. Let's go. Be right back, my water's done. Back to the questions. Coffee ready, cooling down. You should have seen where that water came from. It had to be boiled. Chris wants to know, what would my reaction be if I came across someone camping on Lone Wolf Mountain? Trust me, we would have a talk. The land is definitely posted. Now, you know, I think I'm likely to let them go with just a warning as long as they didn't disturb anything. But if I caught them doing something, they would be in big trouble, let me tell you. Barry says, we need to get you on an island. That sounds awesome. Help me get there. I'd love to go back to Hawaii. That'd be great. Gary wants to know, what is your favorite cheese? My favorite cheese? I don't know. I like cheese. Cheese is good, but I don't know. I'm not sure. What's your favorite cheese? Robert wants to know, what would your dream place be to spend a week at? Mine would be a week with someone who could help me and teach me things. I don't care where, as long as it's in the woods. He prefers fall and spring. Excellent. Oh, that's a good question right there. This is what I imagine, folks. And it's not a specific location, more of just a set of ideas. I picture a mountain top, right? I see this old log cabin. Smoke's coming out of the chimney. Snow's pouring down. Yeah, that's exactly where I want to be for an entire week. Inside the house is all sorts of good food. No power, no electricity, nothing like that. Oil lamps. Yes, a wood stove. That's what I want. What type of predators are around here? We have quite a few. Mountain lions, bobcats, bears, let's see, coyotes, wolves. As far as poisonous snakes go, at this altitude, there's nothing really. Delta wants to know, what is your idea for your next overnight adventure? That's a good question, and I am going to leave that up to you all. In the Bushcraft 3-day Bushcraft overnight trip, I asked you all, what would you guys like to see for the next trip? You know, out in the middle of nowhere, car camping, do a travel thing. It's up to you guys. Comment in that video and let me know. Alright, I have a question here from Rhodes. He is asking if I plan on doing any reviews for gear that is targeted for like different climates. That would be difficult for me to do fairly because, well, I'm here, you know. I wouldn't feel right doing a review for something that's for, you know, a different climate if I can't actually get that gear out and review it in that climate. I can make suggestions based upon my knowledge, but that's about it. Have you ever made a Dakota fire pit? Yes. If it was windy, I could make one right here. The ground is perfect for that. Andrew wants to know, what is your favorite season for being in the outdoors? Winter. Michael has a good question here. Have you thought about expanding your social media empire to Instagram and showcasing more photos? I tell you what, that's not a bad idea, is it? You guys need to tell me exactly what Instagram is. I'm behind the times. I'm old school. I know of Instagram. I know it has something to do with pictures and stuff, but I don't quite get it. So, Michael, I might need your help, buddy. I appreciate the recommendation. Another helicopter. Man, the military is active. They've been flying overhead for the last couple days. Big time. I wonder what's going on. Melissa wants to know, how do you keep bugs away so you can sleep well? Nothing keeps bugs away unless you're inside of a tent. You can cover yourself in bug spray and all that stuff, and spiders are going to run right over your face. That's just how it goes. It's like, I don't like spiders and I don't care for bugs, but every once in a while I push myself to do something like this because, well, I think it's important to face your fears. It's important to face things that you are uncomfortable with. So if you ever get put into a bad situation, you can keep a level head. Stillness Wilderness wants to know, if I could keep one tent for the rest of my life, what would it be? And he specifically wants to know, would it be the Hunker one from Mountain Hardware? No, it wouldn't. I think if I had one tent and only one tent, it would be the Go Light Shangri-La 3. Now, Go Light is back. They have it's called My Trail Company or something like that. It's like the Pyramid 3 or something. But it's a TP tent. It's the simplest of designs. It's really, really functional. You have the fly, which you can use in the winter by itself. You have the net inner, which you can use in the hot, buggy months. It's just awesome. It's a fantastic tent. You can pitch it just about anywhere. It does have to be staked out. Slight con, so it won't work in all locations, but it's a fantastic shelter. I love it. My question for you all is, what tent would you guys select? Let's see. Andrew has tons of questions here. Are you planning any more kayak adventures? I really want to do that, and I still might. Those are really, really hard to film. It's hard to film with a camera in your boat. I have to come up with some sort of system, because last time, I could have easily destroyed a $600 camera. That's what I used. It wasn't waterproof at all, and I was lucky. So he also wants to know, am I watching any movies tonight? No, I'm not. This is my only electronic device. I don't even have a battery charger for it. I turn it on whenever I want to access this so I can communicate with you guys, but that's it. So no movies, no nothing. Mike wants to know, what are the day and night temperatures there? Well, let's see, the first night was 40 degrees Fahrenheit. And like 65 is the high. I think today it's a little bit warmer. It might be like 68. Tonight it might be like 45, something like that. Andrew's back with another question. Are you planning on storing any hiking gear here at Lone Wolf Mountain? No, not at all. It's too far away. It's too remote. I wouldn't leave anything out here if it was of any real value to me. You know what I mean? It's just too far away to take care of it. And the thing is like, people steal stuff. It's just life. If it's not bolted to the ground, it will disappear. Can I outrun Bigfoot? Probably. I'm pretty fast. I probably can't do the distance that I used to, and yeah, I think I can outrun him from the get-go. So I mean, if he's like an all-out marathon runner, he's gonna get me. Is he stronger than me? More than likely. Anthony wants to know, do you ever bring actual meat on backpacking trips? And if so, how do you keep it from spoiling? I typically don't. You know, if I'm coming out and I'm going to be doing some cooking within a day, I might bring something that's been cured, like a ham, you know, some ham slices or something like that. I try not to bring anything that will spoil. I want to bring food that will last a while, not just for my backpacking trip, but just in case. What if I break my leg out in the middle of nowhere? Well, I want to have enough food to get me through. You know what I mean? So yeah, I like to bring stuff that will last a while. I always plan for the inevitable. I don't want something bad to happen and then have my food spoil. You know what I mean? Or have to eat it all at one time because it's going to go bad the next day. So in my case, it's a way of planning ahead. Danny, do you have a backup plan just in case something goes wrong and I get hurt? No, not really. I know how to take care of most things. Let's say I'm using my hatchet here and something happens, I slip, I make a mistake, and I hit myself. I'm wounded badly. You know, I would be in a lot of trouble. For one thing, I am out here in the middle of nowhere. There isn't a hospital, there isn't a medical center, there is nothing out here remotely close. About the closest hospital would be 30-something miles away. So, yeah, I mean, it's serious. It really is serious. If something bad happens, I have to take care of it myself. And you have to prepare for that as much as possible. You know what I mean? And you have to be realistic about it all at the same time. Anytime that you go out to do something, there is some risk to it, right? That's life. For me, it's a risk that is worth taking. What is your favorite home-cooked meal? Oh, man, home-cooked meal. I don't know why I'm thinking of this at the moment. I guess I'm just hungry for it. I want French fries. A little bit of salt on there. I want a bacon Gouda cheese burger. Oh my gosh. Something thick too, man. That would be awesome. Craig wants to know, would I ever take someone who subs to the channel? I would love to do that, and gosh, it'd be kind of complicated to do, or maybe even unfair, because it would have to be someone that's close by, right? But yeah, that would be awesome. I'm definitely open to it. Okay, Perry has a question here. I'm definitely having an awesome time. Thanks, buddy. Are there any special rules or regulation permits or permissions required for an overnight outing? Nope, not here. This is my land. I can do anything I want to. I can burn it to the ground if I want to. I'm not going to, but yeah, you know, of course, like if you're heading to like a national park or something like that, yeah, you have to follow the rules. Not all places will let you have fires and stuff like that, which makes sense. Lucas. Hey, Lucas. That is a great name that you have there, my friend. Do you think about using sleeping bag liners is a good way to avoid having to clean them? Yes, I do. Yep. And plus, they add warmth to your sleeping bag. And, you know, for some people, they don't like the way that a sleeping bag feels. They don't like the material. So sleeping bag liners can make them so much more comfortable. There's fleece sleeping bag liners, and also there's like other materials, such as bamboo, which feels amazing. There's silk and so on. Mike has a question here that's a pretty good one. When hammock camping, what's the easiest way to get in your sleeping bag without dying? If I'm going to have a sleeping bag, I want to make sure that like the zipper goes all the way down. In a lot of cases, I like to use quilts even over sleeping bags. You know, some sleeping bags will have funky zippers where they don't really open up all the way, or they open up halfway, something like that. They're all different, so make sure it has a long zipper. Maybe even check out a quilt. What kind of solar power charger are you using to charge your devices? Nothing for this trip. The battery is what it is. If it dies, it dies. That's it. For the batteries, I just have a collection of batteries, and once they're dead too. I could have brought along a solar charger, but you're just talking about so much weight, you know? That's just the way I look at it. Now, Jesse says that he has a hard time doing bushcraft trips because of all the bugs, the mosquitoes, the flying things, the critters, and whatnot. Smoke is your biggest ally. Use a fire. Use smoke to your advantage. Even at this time of the year, fall, it's kind of cool. There still are mosquitoes, but you can have a smoky fire going all day long. It uses very little wood once you have a nice base of embers, and there will be nothing flying around you at all, I promise. That's why I have this fire going now. Not only am I preparing for the long fire tonight by getting a long base of coals and ashes and whatnot, but it's also the smoke. And I've used very little wood to get this going and to keep it going. But yeah, you could build something like this here, a full shelter, which you know is going to have bugs in it, right? Look, it's a debris shelter. But the smoke will make them scram. You have smoke going, and nothing wants to come close to it. Use smoke. Richard actually asked that guy's question about how I keep everything away. And Richard said, Luke uses barbecue baked beans. That's really funny. That's rich. Gosh, I want some barbecue baked beans bad. I should have brought some. Have you ever seen, Joseph wants to know, have you ever seen Survival Lily's YouTube videos? I don't. No offense to, I'm assuming that's a woman, but I have not. Like I said before, I really don't have much time. I've got my hands full. My main focus in life is family, doing my videos, and my work, and that's about all that I have time for. Like, yeah, just non-stop work. Ruben, how's it going, brother? Let's see. Do I need to place a tarp under my standalone tent? Now, I think what you're talking about is a ground sheet for your tent. You don't have to have one. I like to use them, and I just use a plain old piece of plastic. Hold on one second. There we go. When it starts smoking like that, it's ready to burst into flames. Just blow on it, get it going. Okay, so yeah, going back to the tent with the ground sheet, I believe that's what you're talking about. You know, it's up to you. Some people do, some people don't. I do, because I want to protect my gear. I want to protect the floor to my gear. I've hopped in tents before and punched a hole through it because there was a piece of debris on the ground that I didn't see. So I always throw down a piece of plastic, put my tent on top of it, ready to go. A piece of plastic weighs nothing. You won't even notice it in your bag. John, welcome back to the Carolinas, my friend. Enjoy. Matt says, what's your favorite type of natural-made shelter? Natural, well, any type of rock outcropping is going to make your life very, very easy. Fallen trees really do work well. They can be, it just depends on what you do with it, you know what I mean? But yeah, definitely a rock outcropping makes things nice and easy. Scott says, I'm pretty sure I'm voting for you this November. Hey, thanks, man. I tell you what, if the people actually had control of this country, it would not be in the shape that it is today. It's, you know, I don't want to get onto a political topic here, but we are in trouble. The United States is in trouble. And if you don't agree with me, you're not paying attention. Yeah. My Uncle Kenny, how's it going, buddy? He says, looks like a nice camp spot. Question, is that in the middle of a trail? Yes, this is in the middle of an old logging road. And basically, it starts here, I don't know, almost to the top, and it goes back and down, and then it comes back up to the very top of the mountain. You know, with this video, with this bushcrafting trip, I wanted to give you guys a good example of what could be done with natural elements. There's logging roads everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. And it's easy just to take a bank and make a shelter like this. Thanks, Uncle Kenny. Love you, buddy. Let's see, Joey. He says, I want to go. Come on, my friend. You're welcome here. Joseph says, are you awake still? And that was at 9:30 last night. No, I was passed out. It says, Ron, I'm thinking about biking the Creeper Trail. Would my Cannondale CAD 12 be able to handle it? Sadly, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure of that model. You know, as long as the tires are good, you have good brakes, and you know your bike's not going to fall apart, any bike should be able to do it. You could probably do it on a tricycle, because it's, if you start at the top of White Top and you go down to Damascus, it's 16 miles downhill with 1 mile of flat. It is awesome. What's the best basic gear to get started with solo camping? And do you ever think about kayak camping? Questions like that are really, really hard to answer because I don't know what you need. Like here in the mountains, I need stuff that's a little bit stronger than like what you would need, like say down in the flatlands. Your typical conditions will vary from place to place, so it's a really hard question to answer specifically, you know what I mean? Yeah, without knowing where you were at, that's almost impossible to answer, sorry. Adam says, yeah, where's my invitation? Come on, my friend, join me. Andy says, your shelter looks badass. What's the temperature there now? Last night when I posted that, it was probably about 51 degrees. It was in the low 40s this morning. Manny says, are there any companies you would consider working with to come out with the outdoor gear review line? You know, I've been approached by a few companies to work on some products, and I wasn't sure if there's really a market for that sort of thing. I've seen some comments from you guys saying, hey, do you have any clothing, stuff like that? Are you guys interested in that sort of stuff? Let me know. Colin's question is, what has been your favorite overnight experience or experiences? Gosh, I've had a lot of really good trips. I mean, usually there's like one memory that I can take from each trip that just leaves me in awe. Like, let's see, the memory that's coming to my mind right now is a few years back, I was camping out on top of this mountain, and a snowstorm is rocking and rolling, right? So I'm inside my tent, the wind, the whole tent is just shaking because the wind's so violent. And all of a sudden there's, boom, thunder snow. I mean, it was just amazing. And it went on for like 3 more times. It was like lightning flash, thunder, thunder. And like during that, I mean, the snow was so heavy, it probably dropped like 3 or 4 inches. I mean, in the matter of minutes. It was absolutely awesome. Yeah, I see a lot of questions here about traveling to different places and doing camping trips, and I'd love to. It really is just a matter of money, you know, how to afford it. That's what it boils down to. I'd love to travel and do all that stuff, but when you're self-employed, you're the boss. You have to get the work done no matter what. So, yeah, How do you afford it? Oh yeah. Zach says, can you do some more videos on tarp shelters? Consider it done. Danny says that he's going to be in Banner Elk, North Carolina, coming up fairly soon. What should we do? Huh, now that's a pretty cool idea, man. Yeah, hopefully you'll send me a message. I don't know if this video will even be up at that time. But enjoy yourself. Banner Elk is, man, it's not close to where I'm at right now, but it's not far away either. Now, Leo has a question here. He says, do you have another road trip planned soon? Yes, my brother and I, we are thinking about a trip right now, and we're considering heading up north and maybe following the northern Canadian border all the way out west. That would be awesome. What do you guys think? You guys want to see something like that? Matt says, how do you convince your wife to let you go be a badass as often as I get to? He's a father of 2, he's married, and he says that he feels like he has to hide out in the bathroom and drink a beer while reading a Field and Stream magazine just to get some alone time. I know what you mean, man. It's tough, isn't it? Now, luckily, my kids are almost adults, which is crazy to think. I know some people look at me and they're like, that can't be possible. I don't know. Some people think I look young. Yeah, my kids are almost adults. So it's a whole lot easier when you can leave them behind. Because the thing is, they're teenagers. They don't want to spend all day with me. You know, they want to go do their own thing. They have their own friends, their own lives. I get it. With my wife, anytime that I go out, like I consider like I'm playing and I'm working. You know, I'm making these videos, but I'm having the time of my life. It's funny, I could come out here and work and it's like being on vacation, you know what I mean? But, yeah, I treat my wife well. I hope I do anyway. Anytime that I go out to do something, I always like to surprise her. Okay, favorite channel on YouTube right now? Cool, awesome, John. What's your favorite YouTube channel? Let's see, if I do get to watch YouTube, usually it's like I'm trying to unwind, maybe right before bed or something like that. So I like watching Red Letter Media. Those guys are foul, and they are funny. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I am, in real life, a very foul individual. I'm a sailor. I like to curse. That's just me, but I don't do that for you guys, because I respect you all enough not to. Some people don't like cursing. I get it, and that's fine. There's a lot of kids that watch the channel as well. It's just the way that I grew up. It's just how me and my buddies have always been. So, yeah, they're foul. They're really funny. My brother, he turned me on to some channel, the catering show or something or other from, like, Australia. It's hilarious. Those women are super foul, but it's pretty funny. Ethan has a question here. He says, normally I see you carry a lot of weight or at least lightweight gear. Will you ever go ultralight and become a gram weenie? I always try to go as lightweight as I can, and I think that's important for anyone, especially if you're going the distance. If you're going out for distance, it's all about being lightweight. Every gram really does count when you're going for a long distance. So it really depends on what I'm doing. Like for this trip here, this is pretty lightweight. Less than 20 pounds for all this, and most of it's just like filming stuff. Justin wants to know, do you plan on traveling to Europe for a hike? I would love to. Love to. It goes back to time and money, you know what I mean? A name here that I cannot pronounce wants to know, why did you camp in the middle of an off-road? Basically, I wanted to do this as an example of what you can do, of how you can use elements that are out in nature for your own benefit. That slope of the hill, if you see in the video, is a major asset. Major asset. Have you ever thought about coming out west to hike the desert? Bill wants to know. I would love to, man. When I was driving through the deserts, oh my gosh, some amazing sights. I'd love to do it. Another name that I can't pronounce, sorry. He says that he really likes the videos and all the work that I put into them. Do you like the way you do, or do you want to become a more famous YouTuber? I don't care about fame or anything like that. I don't do the Outdoor Gear Review for any other reason than just to, you know, share knowledge with you guys, to share adventure, and hopefully to inspire you all. You know, this isn't making me rich. This isn't making me any money or anything like that. And I don't care at all about being famous or anything. Alex says he hates England's law of not being able to wild camp. It's just ridiculous. You know, I'm not really familiar with your laws out there, so I can't really say a whole lot to that. Hope it doesn't rain. I don't mind if it rains. Oh my gosh, we're at the end. We're at the end of these questions. So let's finish them up. Let's see here. Love the honesty of your channel. Thank you very much. Have you ever tried ultralight camping cots, like a thermarest one? I haven't even seen one. I will check that out. Martin wants to know, what is your favorite horror movie? Okay, I have two, okay? The scariest movie I have ever seen is The Exorcist. The original Exorcist is probably the most frightening movie I've ever seen. I saw it one time, and I don't even want to watch it again. It's not that I was scared, but it just didn't make me feel good watching it. Yeah, I think I'm the type of person who believes that, you know, if you have dark thoughts, if you have dark feelings, you bring darkness in. You know what I mean? So that movie did not leave me feeling very good. So, yeah, one and done. I love the movie Silver Bullet, the werewolf movie. It rocks. It's silly and it's corny at times, but I think it's a great horror movie. I grew up watching it. I love it. Bernard, he is out in Belgium. How's it going, buddy? He says that he's looking for a suitable place to do the same thing that I'm doing. Heck yeah. So folks, that wraps up the question and answers for the Bushcraft 3-day overnight adventure. I hope you guys enjoyed the adventure. If you guys have other questions, drop them down below. Let me know. I appreciate you all. Thank you all very much for joining me for this trip. Everybody take care, strength and honor. Be well.